In today's video, we will see the biography of Saddam Hussein, one of the most infamous dictators in history. Saddam Hussein was born in the year 1937 in a small village called Al-Awya, near the city of Tikrit in Iraq. His father was a poor farmer, and his mother was a school teacher. It is believed that Saddam was the fourth child of his father, but his exact birth date is not known. However, he claimed to have been born in the year 1937. As a young man, Saddam was known to be a ruthless and power-hungry individual. He joined the Iraqi army and rose quickly through the ranks, eventually becoming a major. In the year 1957, he attempted a coup against the Iraqi government, but failed and had to flee the country. He spent some time in Egypt and then returned to Iraq in the year 1968. In the year 1968, a group of army officers led by Saddam Hussein overthrew the existing regime and established a new government. This new regime was called the Ba'ath Party, and it was a socialist political party with a strong emphasis on Arab nationalism. Saddam became the president of Iraq in the year 1979 after the death of his predecessor. During his rule, Saddam implemented a number of policies that aimed at modernizing the country and improving the lives of its citizens. He invested heavily in education and healthcare and also built a number of new cities. He also implemented some policies that were not so popular, such as the nationalization of banks and businesses. But overall, during the first years of his rule, Iraq saw a period of stability and economic growth. However, Saddam's rule soon took a turn for the worse. In the year 1980, Iraq went to war with Iran, and this war would last for 8 years. The war was costly and resulted in the loss of hundreds of thousands of lives. After the war, Saddam turned his attention to Kuwait. He had long been unhappy with Kuwait's oil policies, and in the year 1990, he decided to invade the country. This invasion was met with international condemnation, and the United Nations Security Council passed a number of resolutions demanding that Iraq withdraw from Kuwait. However, Saddam refused to back down. In the year 1991, the United States and a number of other countries launched a military operation called Operation Desert Storm. This operation resulted in the liberation of Kuwait, but it also led to the destruction of much of Iraq's infrastructure. In the years that followed, Iraq was subject to a number of UN sanctions, which made it difficult for the country to rebuild itself. Despite all of these challenges, Saddam managed to stay in power until the year 2003. In that year, the United States invaded Iraq once again, and Saddam was eventually captured and tried for his crimes. He was found guilty and sentenced to death by hanging, and on December 2006, Saddam Hussein was executed. Saddam Hussein was undoubtedly one of the most brutal dictators in history. During his rule, he was responsible for the deaths of hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of Iraqi citizens. He ruled with an iron fist, and anyone who opposed him was brutally dealt with. Some of the most well-known victims of Saddam's brutality include the Kurds, the Shia Muslims, and the Marsh Arabs. He also persecuted and tortured many intellectuals and political opponents. Despite all of this, Saddam was seen as a hero by some Iraqis. This was particularly true of the Sunni Muslims, who made up the majority of his support base. To them, Saddam was seen as a strong leader who had modernized the country and made it more prosperous. Whether you saw him as a hero or a villain, there is no doubt that Saddam Hussein was one of the most important figures of the 20th century. His decisions and actions had a profound impact on the course of history. Thank you for watching the video till the end. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. We will see you in the next video.